Just how dangerous is sitting all day? 5 of our favorite gadgets so far this year. The electric Jaguar hits the road in 2013, and the 2012 Ford Focus Titanium. Dad's on Tech episode 10 begins now.
All Day Will Kill You. The show is recorded on Monday, May 9th, the day after Mother's Day, 2011. And with me I have Zev Green and I have Dan Anderson. What's going on, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
All's
Doing
well.
okay. I almost missed my cue there because I was paying attention to the $5 Justin TV app for the iPad. Couldn't believe it, charging $5 for this thing. So I always missed my cue. Not that. So we know that we should be active, right? We live kind of sedentary lives here, between sitting in front of the PC, sitting to eat, sitting to watch TV, and just sitting at a game. Our whole lives is pretty much spent sitting down on something, right? And according to this Mashable infogram here, we spend about almost like 9.3 hours a day sitting. And, our bodies weren't designed to be so stationary. They were designed to move and move often. And they're saying that the more we sit, the less we will live. So it reduced like 15 years off our life off the bat because we sit so much. I don't know. Dan, what do you think about that, man?
I like sitting down. I don't care, man. It's comfortable. No, but I it's one of those things, right? Anybody that gets an office job. I mean, the office spread. Your butt gets bigger and bigger the longer you have an office job, and there's certainly physical side effects to it. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I look at this graphic and I'm kind of freaked out by it, only because being in technology, I think we all sit way too much,
Yeah.
So I'm a little concerned, but I don't know how much of an actual crazy study this was. I know that there definitely are issues with sitting for long periods of time. You see that those effects, especially on long plane rides, so duplicated over the course of 8 hours every single day, 5 days a week, so on and so forth. You see it especially with a lot of gamers. They have issues with their blood clots and stuff. So it's definitely an issue, but man, they really went to town on the infographic. It makes me kind of freaked out about this whole thing.
Well, you think about it, right? I mean, it's one of those things where not only do we sit a whole lot, 9.3 hours according to this infographic, but we actually also don't work out that much, right? And we don't eat well, and we don't sleep well, and we don't consume enough water and enough fluids. So you take all that bad stuff and just shove it into a little can, and that's what we're doing to ourselves. We're just, we're the own architects of our own death and disaster here, and it is a little sad. It's a little sad that we don't spend more time just focusing on our health and spend more time doing other things like sitting on the couch and eating some Doritos and drinking some beer, which are all yummy in my book. But if you do it 3, 4, 5 times a week, you're causing yourself some damage.
It also talks about the insulin rate and all kinds of. I mean, they really went to town on this. I recommend.
It's a great infographic. It really is. I mean, I forgot there was one thing here I want to mention. I didn't mention it at all, did I? But it's really bad. It's like we don't exercise. We do none of that stuff. We don't climb the stairs. And it's interesting, right, about climbing stairs, right? I mean, we all do this, right? I mean, we take trains, take buses, go up the stairs to go to work, whatever the case might be. But and I always find it very, very funny. I live on Staten Island, so I take Staten Island Ferry. I take the 1 train, the R train to get to Whitehall Station. And I cannot tell you how there is a line of people just waiting to hop on the escalators. And on the right-hand side of the escalators are two very lonely sets of stairs. And it's very rare the person that takes them. Might be like a young kid, maybe someone who's a little more in shape, or someone who's in a really big rush and can't wait on that line. And I just think it's so funny. I really, really do. I'm just like, wow, those lines, ridiculous.
My favorite part of the infographic was actually this one, which says, take the extra step. And it has 70 degrees bad, 90 degrees bad, and 135 degrees sitting position is good. And I'm all about the leaning back. I mean, that's how I roll. But
well, we got the iPad.
But that's what you have to do with your. You have to tell your boss, I am trying to stay alive. I have to sit back at 135 degrees.
But I also know that there's been a very small movement of these stand-up desks.
Yes.
Gina Trapani, I think it was This Week in Google with Leo Laporte. They were making fun of her because, they were like, you look taller today. And she said, well, I'm using my new stand-up desk. And they were asking, what is that? And it's literally a desk. Instead of having a chair to sit down on, the desk is tall enough where you stand up and you actually just do your work as you're standing. And, and I was looking at it and I was like, that might be something that I would actually go out and buy. Because, I don't like to sit all day long. I get tired, get sluggish, get lazy. I mean, it all just goes downhill from there. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys at my work. They, they have different things. Set up a chair. One guy has, a stand-up desk like you were talking about, and he says it helps him a lot with his back because he has so many back issues. Another person I know, they did the whole big exercise ball thing, that you sit on and
right.
You just kind of want to kick it out from under somebody, but. I mean, there's a lot of different types of chairs, and it seems to make a difference. Absolutely. Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Now we know you have blue balls. Great.
Yes. Yeah. No, I just changed it out because I needed you to convince me to use it. It's not convenient because it makes you so. If you go all the way down here, but yeah. But if I were to sit at 135 degrees, you wouldn't even be able to hear me. But that's all good. No,
how do you like it? I mean, does it make a difference for you at the end of the day, sitting on that?
Honestly, it does help your posture a lot. I do think, though, that I need a larger one because either that or my desk is way too high. But speaking of standing desks, interestingly enough, although I don't necessarily agree with his politics, but Donald Rumsfeld was very famous for having a standing desk in the Pentagon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He did all of his work at a standing desk, which is very interesting. And Secretaries of Defense, that's a long day. We're not just talking 8-hour days. Those are long days, and he had a standing desk.
It ain't 9 to 5.
No, not at all. But yeah, it's very interesting. I don't know how I would feel. I'm a stander generally. Maybe a standing desk would be good. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? I don't mind. You see some of these pictures of some of these standing desks here. One of them here is pretty cool. If I had the option of, I don't want to have a desk that I can actually adjust, lower it and raise it. I think that'd be kind of silly. If I had a standing desk, a chair, like one of those bar chairs that I can pull over every once in a while and sit if I got too tired, or maybe if I knew I was going to be there for a very long time, or I was going to have a problem to meeting with somebody, I can just pull over one of those bar stools and just sit and just chit chat. That'd be kind of cool too. But I really think that, excuse me guys, I really think that I would actually use it. I would actually use a standing desk, and because I don't really need to sit. I guess because I sit all day long for these 9.3 hours, that I actually prefer standing.
Right.
I'm sure if I stood for 9.3 hours, I would prefer to sit. But still, I think that option would be kind of cool.
My personal recommendation is when you come home, like I did today, when you get home, whenever it is, hopefully it's before the kids went to bed or before dinner, go outside, throw the ball around with your kids, do something athletic, get outside. Because if you're sitting around all day, even those half hour or 1 hour of activity, number one, is great for you. Number two is great for your kids. And number three, it just it lets the whole family do something together. So that's my personal recommendation.
Well, and you're talking about even just sitting on the job. Let's not even forget about the time you're sitting down driving to and from work.
For sure.
There's a whole other time you're sitting there. So
yeah, the
why not
commute
take
is
advantage
killer.
of the time you can to run around?
It's true. Yeah, commuting is an absolute killer, for sure.
Yeah, especially those long commutes.
Oh,
Absolutely. So what is not a killer are these really cool 5 gadgets. I don't really care about the headphones. I can care less. But the world's quietest PC, now that's something.
Yeah. I'll take one.
Yeah, I'll definitely take one of those.
I mean, I
I'm not surprised, right?
When that fan kicks on, it's loud.
Yeah, well, Dan, right? Notoriously, Windows machines are, have a notorious fan noise, especially Dell's. They are well known for their intense fan noise. Now, you haven't had a chance to play around with the big boy you were talking about before, right?
Not yet, but I'm sure the bigger the machine, the bigger the fan, right? I mean,
exactly.
It seems the way. But anytime you start running video or something, man, there goes the fan on the PC kicking on. But yet, I have a MacBook Pro and never have that. It's nice and quiet, really cool computer.
Yeah, and even I just picked up the new iMac. It's quiet, very, very quiet, and I've been utilizing it, really kicking it in the can, so to speak. And yeah, it's quiet. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I love quiet PCs. I mean, I've been around a number of PCs that just, they're just horrifically loud. Whether it's a PC, and what's even worse is a laptop, and a laptop is really, really loud. I mean, it's just like, my God. So I would love to know exactly how quiet this thing is. It's as quiet as a church mouse. I'm not sure what that means.
So what are some?
I kind of wondered how they did that. If it was just, did they put some sort of insulating around it, or is it just that it's that well run? Or
so. I think
all the above.
There.
I don't know.
I think they put just more and more insulation around the fan.
Yeah.
Or maybe even a better air circulation system.
Well, I mean, it's definitely doable, right? I mean, all the Macs basically they all have fans except for the MacBook Air, right? I'm pretty sure the MacBook Pro has a fan, but it's a very quiet fan. But the MacBook Air, well, let's face it, it's the processor and the hard drive. Those are the two main, and the graphics card to some degree. Those are the main heat generators in a PC. So, although that would be nice just to have. I was thinking about doing a model demonstration to put a couple of PCs of mine in mineral oil, which apparently is awesome. It keeps a lot of heat away. But so let's see, what are the other ones?
Wait, how would you do that? Would it still work if you set it in mineral oil? I mean, you submerge it in there?
Yeah, the only thing you have to do is remove the fans. And any kind of you can set it right into mineral oil, because it actually has a density, I think, lighter than air or something like that. So yeah, it's a weird. There's a whole company that does cooling systems for computer rack rooms, and it's apparently it saves like 75% of the cooling and heating costs. So
wow,
yeah, it's pretty intense. But
this PC is gorgeous inside, though.
Oh, you looked at the inside of the PC?
Yeah, look at the picture. It's absolutely beautiful inside. It reminds me of a Mac.
So then you have these cans, right? These fanny wangs. What do you think of the fanny wangs? I don't think I'd ever be caught dead with fanny wangs on my head.
You know what I think is cool, though, is the fact that I can actually, if we had a spare set of headphones, whether it be fanny wangs or not, we could listen to the same music. You just plug it into, I guess, my aux jack, and we could listen to the same music. That's kind of cool.
Right.
Other than that, I'm just like, okay, whatever. How is that different from Beats, by Dr. Dre?
I'd rather have Beats.
Okay, whatever.
I'd rather pay the premium for Beats.
I'm with you. I'd rather get the Beats.
Yeah. And then they have so has anybody ever used the Chumbies before? Any of these?
I haven't, but I saw down in the comments section, I was reading this one last night, and there were people who said, you lost all your credibility when I saw the Chumby on the list. So apparently there's not too many fans out there.
Now, didn't they have some other type of, wasn't the Chumby like some weird looking animal thing Like, or maybe I'm confusing it with something, but I remember way back in the day when they first came out with their product, I think the Chumby was actually some kind of pet disguised as a screen or something. I don't remember. I mean, yeah, I don't remember. Maybe I'm totally confusing it with something else. But no, I've actually heard mixed reviews of the Chumby, but it's interesting because they chose to go with their own app store, and haven't kind of gone on to the onto the Android market, which is interesting. Okay. Speaking of which, very interesting to go with. And this is totally off topic because the iPad 2 is here, but the apparently the playbook from BlackBerry, they have a plug-in, a kind of bridge connector software piece that allows you to run Android apps on the playbook. So,
wow, nice.
Very interesting. Very, very interesing.
I finally got to see one of those, the playbooks. On Friday, I was in San Francisco at this GDGT live event they had, and one of the guys had brought a playbook with them, and I was impressed. It was a lot better looking than I thought. Had nice video and everything, so it seemed like a nice tablet. Much better than I thought, especially after reading all the reviews. I think the biggest hang-up I would have to say is just that you have to have it connected to your BlackBerry in order to get your email and things, have that tethering. So I don't know, man, but it was a really nice piece of hardware, and just playing with it in person, it was much better than what I expected, especially after reading such negative reviews online.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know why. I mean, I understand why they went that route, but I don't understand as a long-term approach why they would go that route. But I'll tell you, super smart. If they can pull the Android connector piece off, phenomenal idea. I mean, really, really good idea. Absolutely. Although it's not really.
Think about it, right? It's such a great move, right? Because they have very little apps compared to what Android has today.
For sure.
So if you can actually make, I guess, two consumers happy at the same time, then I'm assuming they're thinking they're going to increase their revenue that much more, and sell them many more playbooks. It may completely backfire because the applications may run like crap. But
I will tell you, it's not inspiring. It's not inspiring confidence that the website remains loading.
Yes.
So that doesn't inspire much confidence.
No, it does not.
Let's see. So they had of course the iPad 2. And the Altic Lansing in-motion air wireless audio system. I've seen some very good reviews of this, by the way. Yeah, I kind of, yeah, they say very good things. So the whole thing is, and I don't know if you caught the last edition of Callie Lewis's show, where the CEO of Live Lobster talks about the Macintosh audio system. And it's a super expensive audio system. It's about $6,000-$7,000, and it kind of goes into this. He tries to sell you on that product. And as much as I might be sold by the whole thing, I don't know, $6,000 or $7,000 just to drop on a home stereo.
That is true.
But nonetheless, there are different classes of speaker, so to speak, pun intended. But the what I don't see on here, which I would have put on here, is this right here, the Magic Touchpad. As stupid as it sounds, so I picked this one up with the new iMac. This thing is awesome. I hear mixed reviews about this also, but I'll tell you, it's great. It really is great. So
that's very cool.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. But it's super thin.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah. It really is unbelievable.
Yeah, I tell you what's cool. I mean, again, the folks that I know that have it swear by it. They really like it a whole lot. And I don't think that I've heard any negative reviews from people that I know that use it.
Right.
So I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, I guess that's a good positive outlook on it.
Yeah, I guess it is. And a positive outlook is that if anybody wants to buy an electric Jaguar, you could buy the CX-75 for a cool $1.1 million.
Hold on, let me check my sock.
Sometime around 2013. And I know people like Dan, they're going to go running to go buy that car.
It sure looks pretty.
Dan, seriously though, how beautiful is this car? This car is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really insane. Look at that. I mean, it's just the car is just ridiculous.
You know, and for me, I love watching like the BBC's Top Gear show, just because you can see him putting a car like this through its paces, and you know, I might not be able to afford something like this myself, but it makes it worth it to me going to the the auto shows where you can see these kinds of things, and just to kind of get up close and look at them. They're just amazing. The design and machinery, just fantastic things. So I can certainly lust after looking at this, but maybe I'll find the right friend who will let me take his for a drive.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. If you head out to California, you can speak to Jay Leno, because apparently I'm sure he has one at this point in time.
Yeah, we have to.
Not two.
I think we have to improve our class of friends. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think, Dan?
Include,
there you go.
Have Jay Leno, and definitely in our social circle. He's talking about one right now. But the car is actually beautiful. I mean, great. Listen, using technology, electric technology. It just, you know.
Well, I was down in Seattle a couple weeks ago, just downtown where the Tesla offices are, and I mean they're just wonderful machines they can make, you know, these electric powered. I think that's something, you know, look at the Jaguar here, that, you know, the electric vehicle, it's not just something like the Prius where maybe the style doesn't necessarily appeal to everybody, but they're able to make these vehicles that, you know, design-wise are really something that'll catch your eye. So it's just a matter of time, I hope, that we reach that combination of style and performance and that price point where your average person can really get an electric vehicle. And my God, at $4 plus a gallon, it hopefully comes soon.
Yeah. Well, I think also this is kind of goes back to our previous show where we talked about NASA. Sports cars and spacecraft, right? They both inspire us, and they both give us something to lust after. And it's something as an adult, as a child, you look at these supercars. Now, very few people ever are able to own these cars, but it's something that you always lust after. You look after it, you want it, you want to see, and I think that's the same thing as what will drive and propel things forward. Hybrids have always gotten this kind of wimpy Prius type of view, right? Everybody sees it as some wimpy, dorky car that slogs along. It's not a high performance vehicle. And then we initially saw a intro into the hybrid markets that kind of gave it like a power assist. It really didn't help too much with the gas mileage, but it increased performance. You saw that in the Infiniti lines and the Lexus lines. And now there's a kind of trend to try to really push the plug-in electric car, at least for a certain amount, and then you have a backup engine similar to the Volt. So I think that if we continue to really push, the industry continues to push this, I think we'll see a onward trend, especially with gas prices, although they might be declining soon, hopefully. You'll see a trend that propels everyone towards that electric market. So, yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if you guys are looking at the pictures from Mashable on the Jaguar, but the interior is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It has the interior with the this
blue indigo lighting. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. There are no quote unquote seats, right? The seats seem to be built into the cavity or the body of the car itself.
Right.
Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at those pedals. Look at the gear shift. I mean, this car is absolutely spectacular.
And they're saying
now you can see why this car costs $1.1 million.
And what did they say? It was 0 to 80 in 3 seconds. Although they were saying the production vehicle.
No, 0 through 60 in 3 seconds.
Oh, okay, but they said
and
that
top speed at 200 miles an hour.
I frequently travel at 200 miles an hour, but that's mostly my mouth before my brain. But
yes.
Yeah.
For me, it's just go time.
Yes.
Constantly.
And apparently they have these 2 twin jets on the back that will not be on the production vehicle, but.
That's it. For me, it's a deal breaker.
Included.
I need the twin in jets. I need them.
I think usually if I'm going to spend on my last vehicle when I spent $1.5 million on it, I got jets on it. I think it's ridiculous that this won't come with the production one won't come for.
Yeah, I'm trading in the Batmobile for this. This is much better.
Very nice.
No, and in the same vein here is the 2012 Ford Focus Titanium.
Da-da.
Now, this car
how do we go from the Jaguar to the Ford Focus?
Yeah.
But it's a little more in our price range. It can park itself. Aha! Can a Jaguar do that? I think not. So, and we've all seen this commercial for the past, 2-3 weeks now, right? Where, these guys are in the car and the hands off on the wheel and all of a sudden the car is just parking itself. I mean, I just think that is the coolest thing ever. I think I have to contact Scott Monty or just contact someone at Ford and see if I can actually just hop in the car for an hour or a full day or something like that and just drive the car around the city. I need to, because this car looks really, really cool. Great technology in this car.
How long would it take you before you, for me, it would take a while before I'd really trust the car that it wouldn't damage something parking like that. To me, that's my biggest barrier, is turning over control to let the car park itself. I mean, do you have any qualms with that?
We live in New York, man. It's all cool. Don't worry about it.
I'm not responsible.
I live out in the middle of nowhere in Oregon. I don't have to ever parallel park unless there's 2 cows that wander by or something. I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest. I think I also initially would have it would be very odd for me to let the car do its thing. I'm a little bit of a control freak when it comes to driving the car. So I like to. When I was younger, I went to one of those Skip Barber driving school things. So yeah, I really love driving. But no, I think after I do it 2 or 3 times, I think I wouldn't have any problem handing over the reins to the car. I
think I tend to agree with Zev on that.
Yeah.
It's one of the things, right? You've been driving all your life, right? You've been parking all your life. You've been holding onto that wheel all your life. And you know that if, you need to turn the car left, right, stop, you're in control of it. Now, to hand over that control to a computer, as advanced as it may be, it doesn't feel natural. You just say, I should be holding onto that wheel. I should not be letting go of that wheel. Although this car is parking itself, holy crap! It just parked itself. It's one of those things. It's a whatever, a control issue, a safety issue. It's something that goes against the very nature of driving a car. But I really think that maybe after having to do this maybe 2 or 3 times, I might get used to it. But the kicker here is, right, what one day in the very near future, and Google's doing this today, that car is not only going to park itself, it's going to drive itself. So what's going to happen then to us? It's just I think I might just go crazy.
I think I'm going to be on Twitter even more. It's just, I'm just gonna,
Stop me now, huh?
Yeah.
Pull me over. I'm not driving, copper. The car is driving. I can tweet all out long.
I'll tell you though, the thing that really, we love Ford. I think this show is a friend and fan of Ford. We love the technology in the new Fords, and it's just personally, if I'm buying a new car, 99% chance it's going to be a Ford. I'm really impressed with how they just keep on coming out with fantastic offerings, just one up every single time. So yeah, this is what was really nice about the titanium also, in the whole line, but specifically the size is fantastic. Just the amount of tech in this car is unbelievable. There's just buttons galore, and that just makes the technolust in me just so happy. So yeah, I'm super duper happy with this car. I can't wait to hopefully find a car rental place that'll have them in for me to rent, at least temporarily.
Or something like that, right?
Right, exactly.
So what do you think about that, Dan? I know you're a little trepidatious about having a car park itself.
I was thinking it over. I did a test drive a while back of a Lincoln MKT. It was their crossover vehicle, and they had this feature on there for the cruise control, where it has sensors on the front of the car that it would tell, if somebody cut you off, it would automatically slow down the car. And I didn't trust it at first because I had never had that kind of technology. But then I saw over the course of my wife and I took a road trip from Oregon over to Idaho to visit her relatives. And over the course of it, I tested out a few times to where, the car was basically driving itself, and I loved it, and I got used to it. So I think to what you're saying, that after 2 or 3 times of doing the self parking and kind of, that would probably do it right there. I'd get my confidence. And you're looking at the video here. It seems like it's not just a hit the button and hope for the best. It's got sensors, and it'll put a little checkbox, and it tells you if things are work. So I think there's some good engineering behind it, and honestly, after I give it a few tries, okay.
Yeah, at some point also, it's going to become like a brag tool, right? You're gonna get your buddy, hey, come out to 7-Eleven with me for a few minutes, and you're just gonna say, take a look, hands free.
Yeah.
And it's going to be one of those wow, this is the coolest thing ever. So I think until it becomes a lot more mainstream, these types of offerings, these options just are fantastic.
Yeah, there'll not be options. They'll actually be standard in every vehicle. Yeah. What I was thinking too, it's how we get out of our car. We take our keys out, and we hit the lock button, and the car locks. I wonder if you have to be physically in the car for the car to park itself. It'd be kind of cool if you just pull up next to the car in the spot, and then get out and hit that park button or that auto park button, and it just auto parks itself as you're walking away, heading into Starbucks or whatever you're gonna be doing.
So you want a pick me up from the bank button too. You're like, just park yourself, and then I'll hit the remote, and then you got to come pick me up around the corner because it's raining. It's raining. I need someone to pick me up. Nice.
Now, what do you think of that price point they're showing on there? The $23,000 for the car. It comes pretty loaded with a lot of tech, but for $23,000, there's a decent number of cars you can kind of get within that same realm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you think it's worth it, or
for me personally,
for your money?
Between Zeb and I, we've seen enough Ford cars with a My Ford, and now with this new technology and understanding how Ford is moving towards Ford has become an electronics company that actually builds cars, and they've been doing it very, very well over the past, I would say, 3 or 4 years now, right? Or 4 or 5 years now. And I have a Honda Civic. It's a 2008. I absolutely love my Civic. I absolutely love Honda. I think they're a fantastic company. But if someone gave me $30,000 and said, "Hey Ray, go out and buy whatever car you want to go buy," I would actually go out and buy a Ford. I really, really would. I love their cars. I love the technology more in their cars, and I love how they're progressing so quickly and including some more advanced technologies into their cars. Even in their low-end cars, they're including the same technology or similar technology. So I really think that I'm almost 99.9% sure that I will go and pick up a Ford something.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think for $23,000, I see that there's a lot of there are a lot of competitors in that space, but it really does give you a lot for your money. The bang for your buck. I think first of all, Ford's quality has become a far distance from where the fix or repair daily meme was. So I think they really have come very, very far as far as that goes. I think they've got some very high quality cars. Number one. Number two, their value is holding now a lot longer as well. So I think that those two things are that's the big thing that you look for as far as cars, making sure that the longevity in the build is good and it retains a high value. Then throw in, of course, the tech and all else that comes with it for that price point. So I think all in all, for the money, I think it's actually a very good price. Now, I'm still stuck in the $20,000 as a luxury vehicle. $20,000 to me sounds like a lot of money, but when you look at cars, the standard minivan now is in the 30s, if not 40s, which is crazy to me. I'm just amazed at how much minivans cost now. If you look at an Odyssey, a decent Odyssey or a decent Sienna, you're looking literally in the high 30s to low 40s for a decently equipped a Sienna or Odyssey. That to me is crazy talk. I mean, it's insane how much that is. So to get a vehicle that gets in the 30s as far as gas mileage, looks like it's super fun to drive, has a lot of tech, and retains a lot of value, I think that's a good price. That's me personally.
I agree.
Cool.
I completely agree. Dan?
Success.
Do you agree with that price tag? That price point?
I think just based on all the technology of things loaded with that, it justifies the price. I was just thinking more of when I as I've been evaluating to do it for a family car, that I almost feel like I have to say it's like the car itself, the physical body of it, how many people I can sit in it, is it safe, is it like an SUV kind of thing? That's the thing that's easier for me to justify that I'm spending money on, even though I know that I'll probably get the most use out of all those gadgets and the self-parking thing and stuff, and that's what I really want to be able to buy, but be able to justify it as I did the right thing. That that so like when I look at the Focus, I think it's a great car and it has a lot of great features. My concern would be that if I try to tell my wife, hey, we need to buy this, that she'd say, well, it's a pretty small car. Why wouldn't we spend the money on an SUV or something bigger with less tech and maybe a little more stripped down, but it's a bigger, bulkier car kind of thing that fits people more comfortably. But
you say we
I
have to be
haven't actually
frugal.
taken one for test drives. I don't know what they're like inside.
Say, but honey, we have to be frugal, and when you drive the car, you can find I mean, you're in Oregon, but you can find a parking space much easier, and it's better. It's easier to negotiate in traffic, and you could just kind of extol those reasons, and then kind of justify on the back end. And it also has some technology that's pretty cool.
Good.
I think the gas mileage itself would justify it. I mean, I'm driving so much these days that I think just the gas mileage boost in itself would make it worth the while.
Yeah, it's true.
Sure,
it's
absolutely.
true. Although if that's your primary reason, then really you're looking at the Leaf. That's I think with the subsidy, the $7,500 federal subsidy, the Leaf comes down to 26 or 27 maybe.
Yeah, but when we discussed the Leaf, though, it wasn't that clear and cut, right? It wasn't a tax. It was a tax credit.
That's exactly
not cash back.
Right. It was a tax credit.
Oh, that's right.
So you have to
only
make
got
sure
that credit over a certain amount on top of that.
Right. You had to make over 100 and something. If you made over 104 or 5,000, then I don't know if it applied.
So would you? I mean, would it? I don't know. Like, could you just stop paying your taxes on your claim your dependents or whatever on your paycheck, and if you know you're going to buy that car that year, because in the end, I mean, you're going to get that credit. I mean, is that one way of doing it?
I guess so. But I think also that the Obama administration was trying to actually turn that from a tax credit into cash.
Right.
$7,000 cash back.
They were trying to do that.
That would make a lot more sense,
Right.
I think, for a Leaf buyer.
Yeah, that was the bill that was proposed, but has yet to be brought up. I think they voted it down, in fact, in the House, but they're trying to do it in the Senate, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah. What I was going to do, actually, is I was going to claim my car as a dependent this year, since gas prices are so high. But I don't know if that's going to work with the IRS. I'm just joking, IRS.
Why not?
We need to be audited
you
next
just
year, right?
Incorporate your car.
Yes.
You incorporate your car. Your car becomes a legal entity.
And can vote. They can make donations
there
now.
You go. Why not?
Tell
everyone, this is my car, John. He can vote.
It lives in your house, right? You
it's
park
a person.
in your garage every night.
Yeah.
There you go.
It eats more than your kids. I mean, as far as the gas, I think you could make an argument for it.
It's true.
There you go.
How many great 80s sitcoms
right,
do
guys.
we have, of cars that talk and things? It's a member of the family.
Today. We are here every Monday at 9 p.m. EST. We are here at JustinTV/BreakBumperTV. If you want to catch us with the rest of our digital properties, we are at breakbumper.tv. On Twitter, we are at breakbumpertv. And if you want to check out our bios, our profiles, you can always head over to our site and check out Dan, myself, or even Zev, or the rest of our hosts that are up there. All right, guys, thank you very much for another wonderful, wonderful show. And when I come into my $1.1 million, I'm definitely buying this Jaguar. I don't know about you guys,
Absolutely.
but
Did we ever figure out, does it park itself,
Right.
though?
Oh no, so that's
Oh,
an
it
additional
doesn't park
$400,000.
It has, I'm sorry, Dan. That's an additional $1.2 million dollars.
Although the truth is, since Ford owns Jaguar, they should throw that option in for free.
You would think.
Yeah.
You would think. But anyway. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I will catch everyone next week. Everyone listening, thank you so much for listening. Peace out.
Later.
Oh.